So out this morning, pretty ominous looking morning actually. It's September, fair bit of cloud cover about. Engine still running, but I am under a reefed jib, just sort of picking my way up the river really. The idea today was it was supposed to be a bit lighter than this, the wind. I was going to go out and play about with reefs even though it's light wind. Turns out there's more wind, so I'm still going to try and play about with reefs. Yeah, so we'll see how we get on. So far so good today. Got a bit more breeze. It's probably blowing 11, 12. I was expecting 5. Not too bad. It's fairly smooth, you consider it's an easterly. A little bit of swell. So things we've done so far is we're just cutting around with a reef genoa. So just let it out like so I'm sure about jib size really, so it's passing in front of the mast, not too much issue. Coming up the river while I was getting stuff squared away because it was a bit bumpy and there was wind to my rear. So I put the sails up early. I used my autopilot, which was great, giving me time to sort of free up my hands and get myself squared away. What I'm doing now is I've just quickly jury rigged. This is super low tech, so bowline that side, some half hitches here, and then all I've done is just done a turn and it's given enough friction on the tiller to manage while I do tacks and jibes effectively. It's just that I hold its course. It's not really a massive replacement for the full-blown autopilot because that sort of follows its own compass and keeps it on a course. But this one will sort of act as a dead man's hand really, which is good so far. Yeah, so let's see how we go with that. It's pretty good. And yes, I haven't had the courage to put up the main sheet yet. Here we go. So the sort of dead man's hands were really lovely. It's holding enough resistance, and I have to adjust it a couple of times because the sort of everything sort of beds in and becomes a little looser. That's working really, really well. So now the trick is I'm trying my hardest to beat the windward, which isn't that easy for me because I'm crap at sailing. With just the head sail up, so I'm trying to jibing by myself upwind, and what I'm finding is even with the dead man's hand, I'm overcooking most of the turns, which is sort of stalling me then, and I'm losing ground. But yeah, I'm making positive progress. We're getting there. We're eating that elephant confidence here. I keep doing that because this, I'm just trying to do triangles off the last spar of the river. So I'm going out, in and out off the same tide, but my return is back upwind. And then the next thing I'm acutely aware of as well is that this wind is blowing me off the pontoon quite convincingly. Let's see how that goes. It feels like we're making progress actually. We're getting way closer. I got a lovely, it's just off my port, my starboard bow now actually. We're flying towards it, which I'm really happy with. You can hear it laughing away, so we're super close to the wind, but it's going well. So the things that can happen that are happening on the last jibe, I managed to kick the... What are you doing now? See, she kicks round off it, she gets really grumpy in. Yeah, so on the last jab I managed to knock the turn off the end of the tiller. So think about that was a bit of a pain in the bum midway through. It was okay, just meant I had to chuck another arm out, which was kind of busy at the time, but it's okay, plenty to go around. I think that was a successful morning. Got out in bigger weather than I thought. A bit more wind than I thought. It's hardly Atlantic crossing territory, but it was nice and meaty, fairly ominous as well under this sort of sky. Out by myself at dawn, which was nice. Managed to do some downwinding out of the river by myself with a reef in. I only used the head sail today. I definitely could have got the mainsail up, but time was getting on by the time I was sort of working at the gremlins of my dead man's hand I put in. So yeah, that was me really. A couple of tacks, used my autopilot a bit more effectively today other than kind of putting it on and dancing on the board because it was doing its own magic thing. And I managed to sail back to windward, drop the sail, well, got the engine on, dropped the sail, so that was a pretty good solo morning for me. Probably run-of-the-mill stuff for most people out there, but I'm pretty happy. So I'm now going to have to motor to wind. And yeah, I've got a bit of a concern about how I'm going to get on this dock because I did get blown off it this morning. So let's see how that goes. Back on the dock, you can sort of see from everything in the car in here. Oh, actually looks like it's staying still because of the way this is working. That's clever. But I promise you the one on the left is absolutely winging it around. It's just to do with the capture Any other ones there? Huh, that's clever. Hey ho, it is blowing, I promise. There we are, that's a bit more like it. So it's blowing off the dock, you can see the way she's sitting. So the plan I had was I came in with a bit of steam actually, quite fast, it made me nervous. Swung out wide towards the sort of stones there. So I was coming in 45 degrees, knocked into neutral, had to bang it into reverse once or twice just to kill the speed. But ultimately the plan was I had my bow line set back along the inside, on the outside of the shroud, but inside of the lifelines, into the cockpit, and then I had my stern line as well over that, so out and over the lifelines into the cockpit, but ready to go, as in I could pick them up and move. Came in relatively quickly, knocked it into neutral, kicked her to starboard, so in towards this, so almost like a bit of a slow motion ram. Moved forwards, hopped over, because like I said, I caught her here in my starboard quarter, hopped over onto the berth as she touched, and then just used these two to play her really. I dropped back, cleated that, moved forward, cleated that, and it all went quite good.